Availability or?
Yeah, just to get your film done to whatever you envision, and then actually be able to film it, get everyone and bring it here.
Yeah, that's a difficult question. I mean, it's always money that you need to make a film. I mean, regardless of, so the more money you have, the easier it's going to make. Easier just without money, you mean? Maybe, just in terms of knowing more people with more equipment. But it's always, you know, it's always a struggle if you have no money. I mean, Reflections was the one time I had money, I was able to put all my time and effort into the movie and got it done very quickly, really. And I was taking my time with it. You know, any other situation, you're spending, whether you want to or not, you're going to be spending months and months trying to, get one day schedule or something like that. Because of the delays and the endless sort of I call it the chain reaction delay syndrome. You're constantly fighting scheduling, people schedule conflicts.
We have time for a couple more. We got one there.
I was wondering, Damon, a lot of your movies feel like they're referring to the process of filmmaking, like the trailers and the director in Space Digital. They seem to almost be reacting to the fact, like, where you're saying, they feel to me like you're thinking, if I had more money, this is the movie I would be making.
In some ways, yeah, it was kind of like that kind of statement, yeah. Although Space Disco was very experimental, being that it was several ideas mashed into one. One was a behind-the-scenes featurette, which was the only short that I was planning on doing at the time, which is the last 10 minutes of the movie, the Logan's Run vintage featurette. That was all I was going to attempt to do. Then I had this other idea for a sequel to 1984, Orwell's 1984, called Beyond 1984, What Happens to Winston Smith or something. It was really just kind of a remake in some ways. I always wanted to do that. It was an undeveloped idea, but I figured I'd try to mash it all together with Space Disco, which is a sequel to Logan's Run, and then combine it with some behind-the-scenes, pseudo behind-the-scenes stuff. And I don't know if it all works very well, but yeah, so that's where that came out of. But yeah, I mean, definitely, an idea or a concept for a film like that, is, you need a lot of money. It's so ambitious, so yeah, I guess you could look at it like that. Yeah.
So I guess I want to know, do you know? I know we don't live in that reality. Almost all of it, but what you would make if somehow somebody gave you a shit ton of money?
What would you make if someone gave you a shit ton of money?
Well, I think that's, I don't know, I don't have any other scripts laying around right now. I mean, that's a good question because, it all comes down to whatever you're inspired to do at the time. And if I had a lot of money after I'd written the script for Foxfur, it would have been a much different film. Now, I don't know if I'm really even all that interested in making the film properly anymore. It just feels like I should go on to something else. I don't know, I've had an idea for Westwood in the 80s film. I don't know if there's anything there working for theaters in the 80s, doing like an American Graffiti type of movie of working for the theater business in the 80s. There would be so many licensing issues with that, though, being able to use real movies and real locations, names of movies. I don't know how that would be possible. I don't know. It's I don't have anything, at the moment, so it's hard to answer that question.
All right, do we have any last questions? Whoa, way up.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, I just had this weird memory, didn't you get in trouble with the hostess truck bit or something like that, or you get kicked out, or
Asking if
you
there's,
showed up or something? I remember some conversation with you online about that, I just can't remember what it was.
was there trouble with the hostess truck?
Yeah.
No. Actually, we had the run of the place. The Hostess Factory around the corner from where I live, but we just went over there at night. There was nobody over there. We were there for hours. And it was great. All the trucks were there. We would have brought in our own lights. We just used a car light for the lighting. It was very quick, but we literally could have brought in. it worked out really well.
Oliver, Damon, and myself got, we didn't get arrested, but we got busted by the cops in Glendale.
Yeah, there was that weird situation. Yeah, cops harassed. We were shooting dead zone effects. Dead zone, the oily streaks in the sky. We were shooting at a gas station. We were using the.
They thought we were shooting up heroin, but we were doing the effect through a needle with a foam core and cooking oil on foam core with black paint with that effect when Paris is looking up in the sky. And we were huddled in a corner with the black paint in a needle. We were actually using a spoon. We were in Glendale, Glendale, Burbank, the cops there.
Yeah, the Glendale cops are the worst.
Someone called the cops on us. Like the cops were all like this, shooting this black stuff onto a board. The cops were like, "How are we doing today?" Why do they always say that? How are we doing today? They sat us down on the pavement. Why don't you guys have a seat on the pavement, Oliver?
Keep your hands to your side. What do you got in your pocket? The usual treatment. Gangbanger or something.
They ran all of our names. Of course, my name came up with 3 warrants. Oliver's name and Damon's name were fine.
But they didn't take you in, though.
They took me in 3 months later when you and I were caught on the computer. I did 12 hours.
Yeah.
In jail.
During filming?
Glendale. No, we were just walking down the street. That's Glendale for you. Glendale is really bad. It's like late at night. If you're walking to the store at 3 in the morning, you've got.
You always shoot in Glendale?
Well, no, it's just I live there, so it's out of necessity of shooting there.
You do a movie with Packard, and you risk more time.
Yeah.
I did 12 hours for him for doing this movie.
Did you guys do all the effects? Was all of it done? The flame, everything?
Yeah, I hired a guy to build the beam ship model, which is a pretty good scale model. Someone bought that actually, I sold it. I didn't really use a lot of that. I used a lot of it in the trailer for Foxfur at the beginning, but only used little bits of it in the opening credits for this. But there was a pretty good scale model, and we went out and shot a day of that, just 60 frames per second on a wire. There were a number of other physical effects too, and some visual effects that some nice people did at the last minute for me of the Palladian star cluster, kind of traveling through space. A guy named Jason Gillis did the effect of that, and a guy in England did the butterflies.
Where's the ship from this at now, and where's the ship from Space Disco?
Well, the Space Disco ship, that was, I don't know, that was my friend Dave Coleman's model. I don't know if he still has it. He'd be in Texas. And I think the other ship, oddly enough, might be in Texas too. Strangely. They all ended up in Texas, right? Is Forrest Jackson here?
Yes.
And where's the beam ship now?
My library?
Oh, so it's in Texas. It's weird. All my spaceships ended up in Texas because Dave Coleman. That's a country song.
Any last questions at all? Right there.
Are you still selling the DVDs of this stuff, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just finished it, so I'll be selling them online. Yeah.
Well,
There's still some out there, and there's not very many. They're almost gone. Yeah, well, I'll have more. Yeah, I literally just finished. I was adding some last, bits and pieces over the last few weeks. So.
I find this film absolutely hilarious. I thought the performances were great. I thought you guys did such a good job. I found it almost to be the most linear, as though it's really a great comedy at the same time. And I'm just going to say, I hope you continue to make this, because it seems like a beautiful hybrid between a more narrative, hilarious Damon and the great genius Damon that we've been loving for years. So anyway, thanks guys. Thank you guys. Did great. Thanks everyone here.